Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed an amazing day. I wanted to jump on real quick and share with you another really powerful aha moment from the Tony Robbins training. And I'm in my front yard because I needed some fresh air, right? One of the things that we learned, and this wasn't the topic of the conversation, but one of the things we learned at this training was to change your state. So when you need just that'll be a whole nother topic about change. I wanted to jump on real quick and talk about what we have taught wrong. And what we have been taught wrong, which was such a powerful takeaway. There's so many of them, so I'm breaking it into little chunks. But if you didn't know, I recently got the opportunity to be coached by Tony Robbins because of the global health and wellness company that I'm a part of. And the last event that they had was a 4-day event, and it's such a amazing topic, so many amazing takeaways. But we also got 4 hours of training from Tony Robbins, and it was amazing. So for me to try and download anything, I have pages and pages of notes just from his talk alone. So I'm just sharing with you guys tidbits throughout this week. And this was a big aha moment because one of the things that he talked about is the fact that we've always been taught that knowledge is power, right? How many of us have heard that term, right? Knowledge is power. And we think about that term, knowledge is power. And so we use that as like learning and growth and motivation, right? Well, Tony's point was knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power, right? Makes total sense. Knowledge is potential power because without execution of the knowledge, it's worthless. Right? Knowledge in our brain can only do so much, right? It sits there, but without being able to truly execute that knowledge, you're not able to apply whatever it is that you've learned, whatever growth you've done. If you can't execute, if you can't follow through, then you're not going to benefit from it. So then we have to take a step further and look at, are we executing what we are learning? Are we executing the growth? I mean, assuming that you guys, if you're online right now, that you're making the time to do self-development and growth and all that good stuff. But if I had a dime for every time someone that told me that they know how to eat right, as an example. Well, if you know how to eat right, then why do you still feel uncomfortable in your own skin? And I'm preaching the choir. I'll tell you about that. You guys all know my story. If you don't, I'll tell you about it later. But so you know that I'm saying this with compassion and love. But if I had a dime for every time someone told me like, well, I know how to eat right, or I eat pretty healthy. Well, if you know how to eat right, then why is it that you're still coming to me because you feel like you're overweight, because you're uncomfortable in your own skin, because you're tired all the time, you don't have energy, 3 o'clock hits and you want to take a nap and you have to somehow figure out how to re-gear because the kids are home, right? It's because you have the knowledge, and maybe you do, right? Maybe you have the knowledge, but the challenge is you're not executing it. You're not putting it into action. So take it a step further, and what's the block keeping you from executing that knowledge? And that could be a number of things, right? It could be that let's say you do have the perfect knowledge on a certain topic, or you've been in a coaching program or what have you, but you're not executing. So maybe it's your state, and he talks about that, and that's a whole nother thing. But your state is how you're feeling, the energy that you're putting in. Maybe it's that you're not getting the right food to your system, so you're not able to think clearly and make the right decisions and really follow through because you just don't have the energy to. Maybe it's because you don't have the support. There's a whole list of things, but take the time to figure out, okay, I know I should be doing this. Why am I not making it happen? What is my block that is keeping me? The other day, in one of my videos, we talked about the elephant in the room. What's the elephant in the room that's keeping you from executing the knowledge you already have? Does that make sense, guys? Thumbs up and hearts if that makes sense. So knowledge is not power, as Tony Robbins says, which that's what we've always heard. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is potential power. It only becomes truly powerful if we get really good at the execution of it. Make sense? And of course that applies to fitness or a business. And I know with fitness, a lot of times what is difficult in execution is having the right support around us, having the right tribe around us, because reality is, if you are at a spot right now where you don't feel good, where you're uncomfortable in your own skin, where you're tired all the time, you got that, or you created that, you became that with the people that you're currently around, right? And it may or may not have any, may not be of any of their influence. It might be your own doing. You're just not taking enough time for yourself. But reality is then, is it really going to get better? Are you going to get better at the execution if you continue to just do the same thing every day? No, right? When we want to create change, we have to make new, better choices, right? When we want to create change, we have to do things differently. We can't do the same thing we did yesterday if we want today to be different, if we want today to be a new day, if we want today to be full of new potential that is recognized because we made it happen. Make sense, guys? Thumbs up and hearts if that makes sense. So Tony Robbins goes on to talk about execution can also be because of your state, your power, your state of being, and where your natural feedback is. In other words, like what's your natural home, what's your natural reaction. So that's a longer video, so we'll talk about that more tomorrow night. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow night. Sound good? We'll talk about state, some tips that he gave for how to change that, and kind of what our natural state is and what that means, like what's our home go-to. Like if you're always worried, if you're always angry, something that you kind of have to work through to figure out what's your natural reaction to state, to life, to issues, what have you. What do you feel like your biggest feeling is that you have a lot? Like, for example, it may be anger. He used this example of a woman that was angry all the time, and that was her natural home state. That was her natural response to any event. Makes sense? Even when it wasn't something reasonable to be angry about. Or maybe it's worry. So we'll talk about that and why it's important to learn how to be able to recognize what your home state is and then change that, right? My current struggle. Danielle, tell me a little bit more about that. The execution is your current struggle? I'll hang out for a little bit. So whatever your home state is, so that's a little bit of a longer video, so we'll talk about that tomorrow night. But the first tidbit in this lesson is that, or not lesson, but the aha moment for me was that poignant point, for lack of a better word, is knowledge is potential power. You've got to have the execution to make it happen. And so if it's your fitness goal, because obviously if you're watching me, it's either fitness or business related. So let's start with fitness for the moment. If it's a fitness goal and you know that you need to be working out, you know that you need to be eating right, you maybe even have a pretty good idea of what you should be eating and how you should be fueling your body, but you're not executing on it on a daily basis. I talked to this morning about the importance of occasional versus consistent. You're not being consistent enough. Your consistency doesn't match your goal, right? You're not executing that. So what do you do to execute that? Well, like we said just a minute ago, if you want to make a change, you've got to make new choices. You've got to make better choices. You can't wake up tomorrow and do the same thing you've always done. And I encourage you to take action tonight while this is fresh in your mind. Write a plan and then be determined to execute it. And of course, y'all, I'm going to tell you about the new online program that I have launching this week. It's actually already launched. The registration now closes this Friday. So you've got 3 more days to check it out and to register, because this online program is to help you execute. Guys, I get it. I struggled. If you don't know my full story, long story short, timing, Dante's 18 now, so 16, 17 years ago, I was struggling with excess weight. I was struggling with depression, eating disorder, all kinds of things, uncomfortable in my own skin, everything that goes along with that, right? And I decided to change. And I'm super blessed that I've spent nearly the last decade now helping, and it's weird for me to say this, but it's literally thousands now, with the help of an awesome team, by the way, create the change in their life that I wanted and needed 17 years ago, right? And now being able to deliver that in this online format. The online program is for women only because, ladies, y'all know we have some issues that are specific to us, right? So we're going to work on empowering each other and creating this amazing supportive tribe through an 8-week transformation program. And within that 8 weeks, you're going to get modules every single week that really breaks down how to crush the stinkin' thinking, how to create a better belief system so that you can create the goals that you are worth achieving and that you deserve to achieve, right? And then, of course, the practical tools on how to get better at this execution, actually, exactly what we're talking about tonight. That wasn't intended to be tied together, but that's exactly how it worked out. So how do you realistically and practically have build the habits that are going to get you to that end goal? And I've developed a really simple tool that's going to help you do that along with those weekly modules. And then, of course, you're going to get home workouts, and you're going to get on a weekly basis video tutorial workouts, and you're also going to get guidance on the nutrition, what foods really are going to help you fuel your body. There are so many people out there that feel like they're eating right, but really they're making choices that are sabotaging their efforts. And how frustrating is that if you're trying to do well and you think you're on point, but you're not progressing forward, or you're not reaching your full potential? Because reality is there is so much bad information out there. There's the fad diets that cause you to maybe lose initially, then you gain more later because you've killed your metabolism in the process. There's the food labels that are super deceiving. They say that they're healthy. This is the newest, latest, greatest, and they're full of junk that's actually slowing your metabolism down, causing your body to store more body fat. So there's so much misinformation out there. I get it. It's hard to figure it all out. We're going to go all through that in this online program. So I hope that you take a look at the link, theinspiredstrengthproject.com. Why is it a project? Because who's our best project? Ourselves, right? Talk about that all the time. The better you do for yourself and the better you take care of yourself, the better position you're in to show up for everyday life. Showing up for everyday life means not just for you, but for those that you love the most. So remember, we're removing those elephants in the room that are excuses. We're removing that excuse that says, oh, I'm taking care of everybody else. And it's great. You are. I get it. I thought I was a good mom, and I was a good mom when I was unhealthy. But when I finally hit that rock bottom where I was like, yeah, I don't feel good. I'm eating horrible, I'm tired all the time, I'm struggling with depression. If I actually felt good, how much better would I be, right? So the best project you have, the best thing you can do, not just for yourself, but for those around you, is to invest back in yourself. You get on an airplane, what do? They tell you, put your oxygen mask on first. You deserve to make the time, investment, and resources for you to be the next best version of yourself so that you actually crush the stinking thinking, get the body you want, and feel amazing. You deserve to have that, right? And the people around you deserve the best version of you. Reality is that if you are waking up every day and you feel tired, you feel depleted, you don't feel good, then you are not just selling yourself short, but you're selling the people that care about you the most short. The people that you feel like you're like kind of being a martyr for, and that you're giving everything out to do the best you can for them. You're not able to do the best you can for them because you don't feel good. You're not at your best. Really, right? It's like an aha moment, and I'm not like judging at all. I was there too. And even now, some days I get caught up and I have to remind myself, I have to take time for my quiet time. I have a morning ritual. That's a whole nother conversation. But that time invested pays me back tenfold. Every time I take a step in faith and reach out in coaching and self-development, because another thing, Tony Robbins talked about this too. When you want to get to the next level of best, you reach out for people that have done it before you. Learn from them, study them, hire that coach, get around that tribe so that you can get there. Because let me tell you, what took me 10 years before I actually got into the industry, the 10 years of struggling and trying to figure it out on my own. Now I know what to do, and I have the tools and resources, and now I've also had the experience of helping thousands of other people do the same. That means I can make it shorter for you. You don't have to have a 10-year struggle, right? I can help you make that process shorter. You still have to put in the work, I'm not going to say that, you know, you don't need to show up and do your part. You got to be a good coaching client, doing all that stuff, but you get to follow a blueprint that is proven to be effective in helping people crush the stinking thinking, feel absolutely amazing, get back to that woman that just feels good and confident in your own skin, right? And really getting that feeling of energy and just sexiness from the inside out. You are beautiful and perfect just as you are, but always striving to be the next best version of yourself, because my friend, you deserve it and you are worth it. So I hope you check out that link. A little bit of a tangent tonight, but obviously I'm super passionate about that topic, and I would love to work with you if you're at a point where you're ready to really get to the next best version of you. And I got to tell you, the women that have already joined this tribe are so amazing, and you, I bet, are next. If you're still watching and this is resonating with you, join us. I want to help. The tribe wants you there. It's going to be amazing. All right, guys, registration closes on Friday, though, so make sure you grab your spot at that link. We'll talk to you soon. If this was helpful, will you do me a favor? Will you please like, share, comment, send me some feedback, or if you have questions, I'll jump on later on and answer them for you. And or message me if you have any questions about the program or anything I talked about. And if you could share this video so that we together can work to empower more women to really look and feel their best and understand that they are perfect in their imperfections just as they are, that you are valued and amazing, that you were created with a unique gift and purpose that only you can provide. So it's our duty and our responsibility to take the best care of ourselves so that we can give our best to those that we love, and so that we can fulfill the full depth of the gifts and the blessings and the vision of what it is we're supposed to achieve, right? Not achieve as in works, but become, give, right? It's one community, one society, one life, and we all have a unique role to play. So are you showing up in your best possible way every single day so that you can play the role that you need for yourself and that the people around you need, right? All right, love you guys. Bye.